Good afternoon to one and all. When I went to prepare for this, when I started to prepare this discussion, this debate, suddenly one thing has came to my mind. Before the British rulers came to India, before the Mughals invasion to India, our ancestors made many of the achievements in our country, many of the achievements in different fields like architecture, building construction, and medicine, war strategy, etc., etc. For that, they get the good knowledge and good practical education. After that, in a medieval period, we lost the kind of education system. We don't know why and how. Now I feel we bring back the same education system, which means the practical education system, and now. And I really happy to participate in this debate. And also, I'm going to stating few of the challenges, which is again challenges in front of the state to implement the National Education Policy 2020. The first challenge is to doubling the gross enrollment ratio. Doubling the gross enrollment ratio means the policy is going to doubling the target to doubling the gross enrollment ratio in 2035 from the 33.3% to 50%. This is one of the massive target. If we need to attain this target in a higher education, we need to open at least a one university in our country, because now around we have 1,000 universities in our country. If we need to attain within by the 2035, we need to open at least a one university per week in our country. Opening an one university per week is, I think, it's not an ordinary work. It's one of the Herculean tasks, or rather toughest work. The second challenge in front of the government to implement the national education policy is the national education policy. This national education policy is intended to bring to the 2 crores of children to the schools who are not currently in a school, but we need to bring back to the school. But if we need to achieve this goal, we need to open at least 50 schools per week, and also we need to we need to appoint 50 headmasters and also 200 to 300 teachers, and that teachers also very well trained teachers. Then only we can effectively implement the reconstructed curriculum for the effective education. The third one is a biggest challenge, which means the funding in this COVID-19 era is the biggest challenge. If I think almost the government is going to spending 2.5 lakh crore per year for education, which is approximately the 6% of GDP. And this amount is going to spending for utilizing for the construction of buildings for schools and colleges, and appointing the teachers and professors, and for other operational expenses like giving the free breakfast to the students. But I think due to the COVID-19 and also the lockdown, we don't know where is our GDP. It's gone. And also we have the very less amount of tax revenue also. But we have one thing high level, which means the fiscal deficit. So that funding for the implementation of this policy, national education policy, is one of the toughest one. Fourth one is to create the experience large number of trained teachers. Many of the countries who are dominating in the educational field appointing the qualified and more talented persons as a teacher. They are giving the more respect to them, and also giving the huge amount of remuneration, which means a salary, and also the other expenses also. But in our country, it's a totally opposite. So that we need to enforce the reconstructed curriculum of effective and practical education. We need to appoint very effective and talented persons as teachers. And the fifth one is one minute. The fifth one is interdisciplinary. Fifth one is interdisciplinary higher education demands for the cultural shift. Interdisciplinary higher education demands for the cultural shift. And the next one is to strengthen the foundation level studies of the children, which means till so far we have the 10+2 pattern for the studies, and also we have the free and compulsory education. And this education has been changed by this new pattern of 5+3+3+4 4, which means foundation course, preparatory stage, and middle class, and also secondary schools. By this, our NTA, National Testing Agency, is going to conducting the aptitude test to the 3rd standard, 5th standard, 8th standard, and this process is going to creating the little bit of burden, and also for to the depression of the students. So to overcome this process, the government has some strategies also. When if they are going to conducting the aptitude test, in case the students are failed in this test, they can transferable, they can get the promotion to go to the next class, because of we have the article 21A of right to education. But they are going, by this test they are going to collecting the comprehensive record for their academic career, to select their major subjects in the 9th subject for their career. That's very important and useful for that. And next one is vocational course impact in the dropouts, student dropouts, which means a person is going to studying, a person is studying since the 6th standard any of the vocational course for the selected one. If he is not performed well in other subjects in a future, maybe after the 8th standard, it may be after the 8th standard, he has a chance to stop the school by the parents compulsion, so but this is not a main challenge, but it's small criticism. It's a small criticism, but this level is very low level. This level is very low number of level. We can overcome it, but by this vocational studies, in case we are effectively did this vocational studies, we can effectively we can make the new entrepreneurs in a future of our country, so that we will change our economy from the service based economy to the production based economy. Eighth one is reduce the school dropouts. By this method, already we have a lot of laws to ensure the free and compulsory education to all the students, but now but we can't be able to reduce the dropouts. But if according to this new education policy, they are going to making one special force to reduce the dropouts. I don't know how it's effectively going to working, but important ninth challenge is common entrance test to all the students who are attaining who are going for a higher education, which means one international school student, and also in other government school students will need to write a common entrance test for the higher education. It's a ridiculous one, because before reaching our goal of equal quality of education to all students, this kind of common entrance test to the higher education is only wasting and dumping to the students, dumping to the students who are coming from the socio-economic backward class. The next final one is improve the nutrition level of the children. This is one of the biggest challenge. So that I remember a new revival poetry in Tamil. அமெரிக்கர்கள் பள்ளிக்கூடம் சென்றார்கள் அறிவியலை கற்க, ஐரோப்பியர்கள் பள்ளிக்கூடம் சென்றார்கள் விஞ்ஞானம் கற்க, நாம் தமிழர்கள் பள்ளிக்கூடம் சென்றும் ஒருவேளை உணவாது உண்பதற்கு கிடைக்காதா என்பதற்கு. Which means the Americans went to the school to learn a science, Europeans went to the school to learn a technology, but as a Tamilians, we went to the school can get the one time food for our hungry. When a student get the sufficient food for his hungry, then only his eyes and ear will open. We are open for the open to learn the education. According to these lines, our government is going to providing the healthy, focusing to providing the healthy foods, and also focusing to closely monitoring the protein level of the students, and also generating the health card to the every individual students in our country. And this is and the final one is the sustainable development goal. This is a very important thing. We don't know how to they are going to attaining this. I hope that the government will. I hope that our government will attain. Our government will overcome all the challenges by their good and own strategy to making the good, great, and perfect persons to our society by this national education policy 2020. I thank to everyone. I thank to all of your patients, and also I especially thanks to my principal to give the opportunity to the last bench student, and also I thank to Jennifer and also Priyanka and Sri Krishna. Thank you so much.